Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Saturday's live at the Waterhole. I am delighted to be here once again with everyone this afternoon, or this evening, or this morning, depending on where you are. It's 12:30 here in South Africa, here at Tenby Elephant Park. What a beautiful start to the show. We don't often see these family groups here, so what a treat to see this breeding herd present. We often have these big boys at this pan, but today we have some ladies and some littlies as well, which is fabulous. So once again, thank you all for joining us this afternoon. Please remember we are live and interactive. I love hearing all your questions. So please send them through to wildearth.tv/questions, or you can scan the QR code currently on your screens. You can also join the conversation on X using #WildEarth, or again scan the QR code there just at the tip of that elephant's trunk. You don't hear that very often. You can also send through your questions and comments on WhatsApp using +27 786 302 336. We love to hear from everybody. That's what makes this show so special, is we can communicate with everyone that's out there. Penelope Kenyon, hello Wild Earth, Kelly Zoomies and all the chatters. Enjoy from a lovely sunny day in Salt Rock, KZN. Thank you for joining us, Penelope Kenyon. Joanne Mello, hello Wild Earth and Kelly, happy Catterday. Happy Catterday back at you, Joanne Mello. Thank you so much for joining. Catherine, hi. And hello to everyone else in FC that make this show possible. Thank you, FC, and thank you, Catherine. Hi, Kelly from Ari. Hi, Ari. Thank you for joining us. And Penelope says there's lots of great elephants here in Tenby. There is indeed. I see there's a couple of tuskless individuals here. It is a genetic thing in African elephants to be tuskless. Not particularly unusual, actually. See, there's at least 2 tuskless individuals here in front of us. Could be they're related, that one on the far right, and then the one just walking across the bottom of the screen here. Could be mother and daughter. They're all sharing these little puddles so nicely. Joanne Mello, it's a pleasure. I love hearing all of your questions, even the difficult ones. I might not answer them, but I love hearing them. Gillian is saying what a wonderful group of Ellies. Indeed it is. I did have a little bit of homework to hand in from yesterday. I've done most of it. I did indeed sit for 5 minutes last night. I sat outside quietly. There wasn't what's going on there? There wasn't too much going on that I could hear or see. I did hear a fiery neck nightjar calling, lots of insects and crickets. But I did indeed spend my 5 minutes in silence outside yesterday. This cow is down there in the mud getting a real good covering there. I wonder if not having tusks might impact how they are, I'm assuming that's a female, how they mud themselves, because sometimes they would use those tusks to sort of, if the mud was lacking a little bit, to sort of loosen up a bit more mud with their tusks, but if she's not able to do it, maybe that's why she just got right down in there. And look how she's crawled out of there. Ah, she's sliding into the next one. That's so cool. I want to see what that elephant on the right's doing. Can we go right? I want to see what she's doing. She's kneeling down in that little... Oh, these are loving this. She was almost crawling between puddles there, and look, both these little ones are also right down in there. What is she doing on the right? Loving life. Getting a really good covering of mud. She's just dropped off the edge of the screen there. It looked like she was sort of skidding between the puddles there. That tuskless, looks like a tuskless cow from the shape of her head. Almost slid on her belly between the two puddles there. Penelope Kennan, you love watching Ellie's interaction. I also do. Hear that sombre greenbull calling again. It's also calling yesterday. Lots of these birds are sort of kind of, yeah, territorial, some of them. And these songs will be proclaiming territorial rights. This is my area. So a territory is when an area is defended. And lots of birds will defend territories. Or you get lots of other animals that have a preferred area. We call that their home range, which is the general area that they hang around in.
For years, we've shared virtual wildlife. Now, let's experience it for real. I'm Lauren Arthur, and I'd love to show you my amazing home here in the Greater Kruger of South Africa. This 5-night journey is an exclusive connection to my piece of untamed Africa. I live here in these gorgeous landscapes surrounded by epic wildlife. The wild is calling, so come and join me.
At Wild Earth, we believe every story has the power to create change. That's why we've launched the Wild Earth Impact Foundation, a non-profit dedicated to conservation and social impact. By showcasing conservation stories, we can change lives, protect nature, and empower communities. We have partnered with Empowers Africa to accept tax-deductible donations from US donors. Your donation will help fund critical programs that support our mission. Join us and be part of the change.
A little tree for a bit of shade. So I would guess this one on the right, I would guess as a male, because I was saying yesterday, look at that massive, I don't know if it'd be called a trapezium muscle, or that big top of shoulder and across the neck area there. Often pronounced in these big bulls. So male white rhino do tend to get bigger than the females. Charlie Glazebrook, African elephants are bigger than Asian elephants, and it depends. Genetics play a big feature in elephant size. I've seen some huge elephants from Etosha, also some big bulls in Botswana. But yeah, African elephants are bigger than their Asian counterparts. Catherine, such a treat to see rhinos. Yes, I agree. And to be able to watch them for such a long time without disturbing them as well is also lovely. Percy Mapunzi. What is the social structure of the Ellies? Typical social structure is cows, so females and youngsters will live in a family group or a breeding herd, often many of which are related, so sisters, cousins, aunts, and then younger sons, younger males will also form a part of that family structure, that family group. And then when these boys start reaching sexual maturity, so anywhere from, can be, oh, what's going on here? Yeah, this to me looks like this male might be harassing potentially a female. I wouldn't have thought two males would stand nose to nose quite so comfortably for quite such a long time. So yeah, when male elephants reach sexual maturity, could be anything from 10, 12, all the way up to 18, 20. It's not, people often say, when they reach 12, they don't sort of go, right, I'm 12, it's my birthday, I need to leave. But they will move away from their family group and strike up either on their own, or more often they will form very loose associations with other males, and they become sort of boys groups, but they're also quite happy on their own. And then when the males do come into contact with the females, with the breeding herds, they will check reproductive status and often hang around looking for reproductive opportunities. The same as what I believe may be occurring here with this probable male white rhino. Trevor, hi, welcome. You're new here. Thanks for finding us. You are very, very welcome. We hope you stay. Mercedes Bean, hi. You're saying greetings to Wild Earth Crayon Chatters. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday back at you, Mercedes. Thank you for being here. Dear. And Lanla, you're from Swaziland. You're asking, is there any attacking of animals by predators on this channel? Sometimes. We never know. Everything we are seeing is happening live as it happens. So we never quite know what's going to happen next. So possibly, but nothing is orchestrated. We don't encourage anything. We don't discourage anything. So it could happen. I'm not sure if FC can tell us, have we seen many predator kills on this channel? I've certainly never seen one. I saw a hammercock kill a fish yesterday. That was pretty cool. So we never know. That is the joy of this channel. Always thought rhinos were grunters rather than growlers. Again, it depends. I've heard rhinos make a selection of noises. Sometimes, I think one of the most curious noises is the noise the youngsters make when they squeak. And they're often it's frustration I've found when they're trying to feed and they're not allowed. Ooh, 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 ooh. Like that sound. That was not a youngster frustrated sound. That was an attempt at communication. Not often we hear that growling from rhinos. They're actually quite vocal. It's just quite as though we could actually listen to them, because as you say, it's not often we hear these rhinos vocalising. I don't think there's anything too serious going on here, because this rhino is pretty unconcerned. Seems like a little bit of a semi-vocal interaction than an actual potentially dangerous situation. Although these are big animals. If anyone decides that something is a potentially dangerous situation, it will become so quite quickly. Gillian, you're asking what is the difference between a white rhino and a black rhino? Excellent question. It's certainly not colour. Mostly body shape, face shape, diet and behaviour. So white rhinos are bigger. They have this beautiful, you can see it, lovely hair. You can see a big wide flat lip. You can see it's almost trailing along the ground. Very wide lip. Black rhinos have a more of a pointed lip or a hooked lip. These white rhinos tend to feed on grass, so they're grazers. Black rhinos they're more browsers. They will more sort of clip bushes and shrubs rather than feeding on grass. And white rhinos are bigger, and they've got, you can see again this against the sky there. This one that's facing us now, it's got sort of a hump in the middle of its back. Black rhinos have got a smaller body structure, and their back is more just a sort of black rhinos, because of their dietary preferences. See, that was, everyone's going to sleep now. That was just a little bit of a chat. And how lovely that they can have these little interactions, and then everyone goes, okay. There's no problem here. And I remember someone once told me, some people say that black rhinos are more aggressive. I think that's a little bit unfair. They're feisty, but white rhinos can be feisty too. But the way someone explained it to me was, black rhinos tend to be more inquisitive and will come and investigate very quickly. So take from that what you will. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Learn More. Lovely to have you here. You are from Zimbabwe, and you are very, very welcome into this community. Piggy Pigs. Learn More, what a great name. Thank you for being here.
we have just had our efforts paid off.
South Africa's wild places are closer than you think because Federal Airlines brings them to you. From the calm of our FedAir lounge to the smooth boarding of our trusted fleet, we take care of the journey so you can enjoy the adventure. Our flights go beyond the ordinary, connecting you to South Africa's most remote and extraordinary locations. Federal Airlines, your gateway to the South African wild.
I get to wake up every morning and go out there and look for cats. I get to create my everyday safari for myself. I grew up in the sort of central eastern suburbs of Johannesburg, fully qualified trails guide and a fully qualified nature conservationist. I love the wild places. I love being in the wilderness. It's probably one of the best jobs I've ever had and probably ever could have. How cool is this?
See, look at them sharing so much. That is a very fair covering there of mud. Great for parasite control. Wanda Reed from Tennessee in the USA. Welcome, Wanda Reed. What do these guys weigh? A big male white rhino might weigh up to about 2.5 tons. They're certainly a unit to be reckoned with. Females slightly less, but yeah, so 2,500 kilograms. I'm not sure what that is in pounds. Lots. They're pretty big. Everyone is having a blast here in this beautiful muddy pan. Our warthogs have departed, and I think let's head across to Rosie's. I think we might have some zebra across at Rosie's pan. Nice little family group of zebra here. So herd size of zebra does depend, as usual, on various resources, often water, often food. Look at them all having a scratch there. Lovely interactions. Oh, so you can see why it can be confusing to predators when they all get together. So these are the Birchall's or plain zebra. There are several different species of zebra or subspecies, or I can't remember what it is. It's, again, taxonomy changing all the time. But these are plentiful. These zebra, these are the guys that you see on the big open plains in their hundreds of thousands sometimes. I'm sure these zebras are going to make their way back to maybe carry on grazing today. Nice cool temperatures, Oliphants West, which is just up the road, so I'm sure they're going to be active through quite a lot of the day. They will head off back into the bush. So let's head over. I think it's almost time for the vulture feeding, which is very chaotic, and I admire the guy that does it, to be honest. That's a lot of bird to be involved with, but let's head across and see if we can wait for this exciting vulture feeding to happen. Dark Mane Lover, welcome. Welcome, thank you for joining us this Saturday. Good afternoon, and also an FC. Great to have you as our host. It's an absolute pleasure to be here, Dark Mane Lover. I wonder how many of your questions I will start answering and then stop on this time. Peter Thompson, good morning from the UK, everyone. Lovely to be here again this morning. Great show yesterday and wonderful to see the big rhinos just as you arrived. Wonderful. Hope you all have a great day. We hope you have a great day as well, Peter Thompson. Thank you for being involved. Rifumu Chibangu, thank you for messaging in. You're asking how long does it take for a rhino to be matured and engage in reproduction? Excellent question. I know this because someone asked a while ago, how many babies does a female rhino have in her lifetime? And I took a stab in the dark, and then I went away after the show and did the maths. And during this time, I discovered that a female rhino will reach reproductive maturity around 7 or 8 years old. But as with everything, there are caveats, things that can have an effect. I'm sure it could probably have an effect on it, even if there's rhino population, food, water. So yeah, around about 7 or 8. Excellent question. It's all very peaceful here at the moment. I don't know how long it's going to stay this way. Spas, you're saying it looks quite quiet here today. I think that's all going to change quite soon. It's great being involved in this vulture feeding at Vic Falls here. I'm never quite sure. I'm fairly sure that there are Cape vultures in this group. But there's definitely hooded, definitely white-backed. And this is, I think, the calm before the storm. Again, it looks like a lovely cool day here. In Vic Falls. What's the time? I'm not sure what time this vulture feeding normally happens, but it does get quite busy and quite frenetic here. And like I said, I'm glad I'm not this guy that has to go in and take the food into all these beds. They're big birds, these vultures. They don't see me from this angle, but I wouldn't want to be in there surrounded by, I haven't tried to count. Oh, what's happening? What's happening? Oh, there's something happening. Is this the feeding man? Foxy Zim, you're saying what a beautiful close-up of all these, beautiful clear close-up of all the animals. Thoroughly enjoyable. Foxy Zim, I agree. Lovely images today. And Lundla, you're asking how long is the pregnancy of an elephant and a lion? An elephant is 22 months and, I think lions, 3.5 months. I'll have to double check. I can't remember the exact days off the top of my head. But often you find the herbivores are shorter. The herbivore pregnancies are longer and the carnivores have slightly shorter pregnancies a lot of the time because carnivores can't really afford to have great big fat bellies because it means they can't run, and if they can't run they can't hunt, and if they can't hunt they can't eat, which is a problem. Lion, double checked, 3.5 months, which is about 110 days, but again can go either way.
My name is Amy, and today we're going to be doing things a little bit differently.
So
Are you ready for the adventure of a lifetime? Wild Earth Travel's newsletter is your passport to a magical journey. Explore exclusive travel options featuring special offers at stunning Wild Earth locations and all hosted by your favorite presenters. Don't miss out. Head over to our website and subscribe to the Wild Earth Travel newsletter today and stay in the know on all our unforgettable adventures. Wild Earth Travel, where Africa comes alive.
This vulture restaurant feeding frenzy. I'm not even going to try, but if anyone would like to, I think someone should try and have a count here. Looks like the time is coming. Dark Mane Lover, Kelly, there are only 2 female northern white rhinos in the world and are unable to have calves now. Can northern white rhinos be introduced again on a pure species not mixed up with the southern one's genes? Ah, here's the feeding man. You watch these numbers pump now, Spaz. Technically, no. I actually went to a lecture about taxonomic. It does look like there's a fewer here today, though. There's all the vultures. I mean, there's a lot, but this man can still move. I've seen him sort of almost trapped. Oh, here they come. Sorry, Dark Mane Lover, give me 1 second. I just want to watch the moment of truth. Ready, set, bundles. One goes and they all go, but no, oh no, here they all come. Yeah, we want to be that guy. Oh, they're not predatory birds, apart from a very occasional with a leopard-faced vulture. They've still got lots of very pointy claws and beaks and stuff in there. But no, I do think those numbers look a bit fewer today, Spurs. I think you're right. Sorry, sidetracked, Dark Mane Lover. Short version, no. According to a proper expert who I went to listen to a talk with a few weeks ago, who was actually talking about speciation of black rhinos. Someone did ask about those northern white rhinos, and he said no, they're cooked. They're not going to be coming back. There was lots of talk about genetic adaptation, and he's an expert, and he said no, northern white rhinos are sadly lost, which is a massive shame. Mercedes Bean, your question is, what's the difference between a northern white rhino and the ones we normally see? I don't think I would be able to tell one from the other visually. Location, mostly geographical location, in my opinion. If you stood a northern white rhino and a southern white rhino next to one another, I probably wouldn't know the difference. Again, it's the nuances of taxonomic classification and species naming, scientific naming, mostly location. Mercedes. Gillian, are vultures endangered? Yes. Well, some are endangered, some are threatened, some are critically endangered, but basically vultures are under threat due to loss of habitat. Poisoning is also a big problem with vultures, where poachers will sometimes lace carcasses with poison. There's been cases of hundreds of vultures being killed that way. So Gillian, yes, they are. Some more so than others. The short answer, yes. Oh, Penelope Cannon. Okay, Vic Falls has white-backed, hooded and lappet. Cape vultures and white-headed are less common at Vic Falls. Occasionally an Egyptian. Thank you, Penelope. I struggle around with these Cape vultures, and I would recognise a white-headed vulture, but from this angle, I find it very difficult to identify these birds. So thank you very much, I appreciate it. You're saying white-backed, hooded and lapped. I've seen hooded. I don't think I've ever seen lappet-faced, or not that I know of, so thank you for that feedback. Occasionally an Egyptian vulture spotted, that would be cool. Alex, breakfast is served indeed. Lou L. Not many there today, no. Definitely less vultures today. I'm not sure why. Spas, are these vultures here actually in an enclosure here with the marabou storks? And I'm not sure. I've never actually been here. I'm not sure what the makeup of this area is. I've only been to Vic Falls once. I wouldn't have thought so. But I could be wrong. Don't quote me on it. Dark Main Lover, pleasure. No worries for answering your question. It's a really good question. And with all this science talk of this wolf stuff and all sorts of things that are going on, it's so complicated. So my tendency is, if someone asks something that I don't know, I will quite happily state I'm not sure. I will go away and speak to who I believe to be experts, and then I will tell them what they've told me. I am not what I would classify as either a rhino expert or a vulture expert or anything else. I'm a good generalist, but some things are so complicated, I would be guessing if I tried to give a response. Deb Davis, the vultures did get a good feeding today. They picked a good day to come if they were here today, because their bodies are off out and about. So yes, Deb, maybe everyone even got a bit today. Let's head across to Cat-eyed Pan, and I think we have a monitor lizard. Catherine, you're saying you visited the northern white rhinos last year and they're currently creating embryos from one of the females and frozen sperm of 4 males to put them into the southern white rhino surrogate. I believe there is lots of work going on in that area, but I'm not an expert in exactly how it would work. I'm repeating facts that were told to me by rhino experts. Okay, so we have a monitor lizard here. We had long discussions yesterday about monitor lizards. And this is a Varanus nilotica, a Nile monitor. Sometimes also referred to as a water monitor. There is a common water monitor that is an Asian species that does not occur in South Africa. I have been very reliably informed. Just another case of how careful we have to be with the naming of things and taxonomy, and I wish I was better at using scientific names for lots of these plants and animals and birds. It certainly would make life easier, but there are lots of long words that I find difficult to remember. Okay, Dark Main Lover, yes, that's basically what the rhino expert was alluding to. He was saying the northern white male died of natural causes in March 2018. That date was officially when the male northern white rhino went extinct with only 2 females, mum and daughter, left in the whole world, on Alpagetta Conservancy, yes. Alex, a lot of germs in their mouth. I'm assuming you mean these monitor lizards. Yes, there are, but there's also a little bit of venom. Believe it or not, they also have a venom gland. I'm saying that. No, shame we lost the camera. Oh, but this is okay though. These hippos are still having beautiful interactions. I say that monitor has venom glands. I know the rock monitor does. I'm fairly sure the water monitor is also the same. So they do. Alex, you're right. They do have lots of germs in their mouth, but they also have venom glands. We were watching this yesterday. These hippos were having great fun, or great communication yesterday as well.
Experience the magic of the wild on an unforgettable 4-night safari at Mabula Nature Reserve, hosted by the one and only Stephen Falconbridge. With Steve as your private guide, you'll gain incredible insights into Africa's wildlife, leaving with knowledge and memories to last a lifetime. Get hands-on with conservation, track elusive cheetahs, and even take to the skies on a hot air balloon ride. Wild Earth Travel, where Africa comes alive. The Wild Earth Impact Foundation is a non-profit that uses the power of wildlife storytelling as a force for good. We create sustainable development projects that showcase conservation stories, empower people, and inspire environmental action. As a registered South African PBO, you can make a tax-deductible donation to the Wild Earth Impact Foundation. To find out more, visit our website.
Ahina nchumo, ahina maka Emavokweni ya milu, ahina maka Lifasila mina ritapela Zatsemba, utatsamana mina.
Step into the heart of Africa from the comfort of your home.
Female leopard tracks over here.
Join our expert guides for a live 3-hour safari where every moment is real, unscripted, and unforgettable. Ask questions.
Animals rely on their senses.
Share your thoughts and be part of the experience as we explore together. Safari Live.
Shame, this giraffe was just about to drink and then the other one came up behind and I think gave her a little bit of a fright. So they stopped. I always go very quiet when giraffe are drinking. Any animals, actually. I do dogs as well for some reason. Don't want to interrupt. And I think it's an instinct because animals feel vulnerable when they drink. Their heads are down, their heads aren't up, their eyes aren't doing what they need to be doing to keep them safe. So I think it's just an instinct thing for me. I often go quiet when animals drink. Dark Main Lover. What is the most controversial question you've ever been asked by anyone, excluding chatters? I'm going to think while these giraffe decide whether or not they're going to drink. I'm still thinking, Dark Main Lover. Giraffe always look very, they always look thoughtful to me. They always look like they're considering things very carefully. Dark Main Lover, what is the most controversial question I've ever been asked? I think the most controversial topics that I skirt around, or sometimes get involved in, probably discussions around hunting, discussions around helping animals that have been injured, evolution, for obvious reasons. And I dance around them all quite nicely. Although I'm happy to have the conversation on hunting. I like to educate, give people information, not tell. Ooh! Oh no, shame. I'm not here to tell people what's right and wrong. I get information from who I believe to be experts and pass that information forward. They really do drink awkwardly. Alice, yes they do. I like watching. I've noticed sometimes, particularly some of the older animals or the older males, I've noticed sometimes they bend those knees forward instead of doing the splits. They've been around for a long time, so they must be doing all right with it. But this giraffe are also drinking from a little bit of a elevated area, which is making it even harder for them. Deb Davis, yes, it is a beautiful sky, and even better with those stunning giraffe silhouettes against it there. I'm still waiting to find out if anyone watching or if FC can tell me, have we ever had a live predation during this show? Dark Main Lover, it's a pleasure. Maybe this is why they're a bit twitchy, because those rhinos were quite close by. And while obviously there shouldn't be too much animosity here, that rhino could do some fairly serious damage to a giraffe. Are we going to get an interaction here? Yeah, I would probably do the same thing, giraffe. That is fantastic camera positioning there. Beautiful, clear pictures today. You said that a minute ago. I can't remember, someone commented earlier. Beautiful, clear images today. Spas, yes, incredible sighting. I'm glad it's Major J and you're enjoying today's show. It's one of my favourite things is to watch interactions now. To watch behaviours, to watch interactions between species. That tiny little giraffe cage at the back there. Try and look for patterns in behaviours, reasonings in behaviours. Is this rhino? We've seen this rhino. I'm not sure how many of these rhinos have these bracelets on here, but I'm really going to try and remember today. Is this? I think this rhino has a kink tail. That would be a nice, easy identifier. Dark Man Leather, thanks for popping in during your work day. And I am due to be back again tomorrow. So please do try and pop out, have a cup of coffee from work and get a little bit of giraffe or rhino zen to get you through your day. Thank you for joining. Mindy, are rhinos considered hindgut fermenters? Yes, they absolutely are. They just have that single chambered stomach, or single stomach, there's no chambers in it because it's a single stomach. You can just quite get that giraffe in the background in focus there. Yes, they are. A way of getting I suppose it might not help, a way of getting a rough idea of a herbivore's digestive system is think about what its poop would look like. I'm not sure if any of you have had as much opportunity as me to have a look at poop, but it tends to be the more processed herbivore poop is, the more likely they are to be ruminants. I'm not sure where we are going. I didn't quite catch it, but we're going somewhere else to look at something different, I believe. Because our rhinos and giraffe have melted away. But that's a beautiful image of that tree there. Lovely skies. What's that? Oh, is that southern white crown shrike? Southern white crown shrike? No, that's not a southern white crown shrike. They have a white head. Is that a fiscal? Let's try and... I think that's a southern fiscal, which confuses me because that looks exactly like a shrike, but I think they used to be called fiscal shrikes, but now they're called southern fiscals. I think that's a southern fiscal. Lovely image of the bird there. I got excited there for a minute and thought it might be a violet-backed starling, but I think they've probably departed now, if they are indeed found here. But yes, southern fiscal, I believe used to be called a fiscal shrike, Lanius collaris. I might start trying to learn all the taxonomic names for everything to avoid confusion in the future. Southern fiscal. a while, which in itself is unusual. So let's head back across to Tembe. We will leave our common fiscal shrike, depending on which book you have, and catch up with our southern fiscal. Catherine, yes, I agree. Southern fiscal? Common? Yeah, southern fiscal, that's what I said, I think. They've got me doubting myself now. Yeah, southern fiscal. Catherine, did they used to be called fiscal shrikes, or am I imagining it? Sounds like you know your birds. Did they change the name? Common fiscal. Used to be called a common fiscal, now they're a southern fiscal. Oh my goodness. Let's go to Tembe and look at elephants, at least we know what they are. So what's a fiscal shrike now? Is this still our breeding herd from earlier? I can't quite see who's here. That was lovely watching them get all muddy though. Yeah, is that Illinois? Yeah, from what it looks like, it's either a southern fiscal, a common fiscal, or a fiscal shrike. So okay, we are watching these elephants closely because we believe there may have been lions here.
My heart is pounding at the moment.
We are here in one of the best places in the world to see tigers.
Best sighting I've presented, I found myself with wild dogs. We chased the dogs around, chased them around. They ate an impala, we got the end of that. Then another impala went into Gowrie Dam down the road there, and the wild dogs went around. Eventually the impala came close to the bank. One wild dog went and grabbed it and then just pulled it out and just did what wild dogs do. It was an emotional experience, but it was very, very special.
Thank you for zooming in there, seeing as I can't do it with my fingers. See, there's definitely some crashing around in there, but they are going back to... They're going back to the mud. And elephants will sometimes do what we call displacement behaviour, if they're having a think about what to do next. But maybe there was just some smells. Elephants do have a brilliant sense of smell. Maybe there was lions there. See, this is where we start speculating. Maybe there was lions there. I'm sure they could probably sense that they've been there recently, so maybe they were going in to check and see when those lions may have left the area. Okay, I've just had a reliable update that the fabulous zoomies that operate these cameras for us have seen a wild dog kill at Rosie's Pound before, and also a warthog kill. So all those many minutes ago, someone that asked, it's possible, but not very likely. Peter Thompson, thanks to everyone, especially the presenters. It's a pleasure, Peter Thompson. Lovely show, lots to see and great information. Take care, all of you. Have a great day. And to you, Peter, thank you for joining us. Please do call again. Catherine, yeah, sharks, birds. I think I'm going to gloss over the naming of birds, probably for the rest of the show, to be honest. So, there we go. Alex making a communal spa day today. Yes, Alex. I think that's exactly what's going on here. And it is the long weekend for many people, not all of us. So maybe these elephants have taken an opportunity for a get-together to have a communal spa day today. So we can see this one elephant towards the front of the screen, or the front of the shot is collared. Researchers will sometimes collar various different animals. We've seen that rhino with a bracelet, often for tracking and monitoring, helping people to get an understanding of animals' movements, where they're feeding, what behaviour patterns are being seen, and it's all about learning. Oh, Mindy, did you see the wild dog kill at Rosie's Pan? I've never seen a wild dog kill. I've come very, very close on multiple occasions, but I'm always just a tiny bit too slow, because maybe I drive more gently than some people. But yeah, I've missed it by 30 seconds several times. But yeah, it is a hard watch, Mindy. Well done for sticking with it. It's not nice to see, but it's fascinating, and it really does give you an appreciation for the brutality of nature, but also how necessary it is for everyone's survival. Alex, Eddie's like the different muds you see. Maybe that's what's happening, Alex. Maybe one of these muds is more for relaxation, and then another one is for invigoration, another one is like a scrub. I don't know. That could actually not be a ridiculous thing to say, because different geology does create different mud types, so maybe there really is some that has different properties to others. Will we ever know? Eddie's at the back are loving it though. Spas, you say you also saw the footage of that kill of the wild dogs at Rose's Pan. They do. I think someone was asking about wild dogs yesterday or the day before, I think. They are a fascinating species. Quite complex, quite sensitive. One of the reasons they are... there's lots of work underway with African wild dogs though. Remember, we are interactive, so if you do have any questions, send them through to wildearth.tv/questions. We are still here. We are still live and interactive for another 45 minutes today. And again, numbers and data and figures update all the time. It is sometimes difficult to know what is correct and what is incorrect. Send your questions and comments through on WhatsApp if you would like to become a part of the rest of today's show, or indeed tomorrow's show. Same time, same place. Yeah, see that if someone asked me now, how many wild dogs are there? I would say that the last numbers I saw were between 6,000 and 7,000. I've also seen 5,600. I've also seen alternative numbers, and it's difficult to know where to look for the most up-to-date information sometimes. I know there has been lots of work done in recent years on wild dog and also cheetah populations, because fortunately we are becoming increasingly aware of species that are struggling and doing our best to support those endangered species wherever we can. These elephants seem to be staying put, but I would love to go across to Founders. Let's have a look and see who we have got across there again. There's action everywhere today. Great show indeed today. Thank you very much from Hawani Magoro. Thank you for joining in. Founders has been pumping today. We've had, look at those zebras right in the water. We've had rhino and giraffe, and now we've got some beautiful zebra. Look at them getting right in the water there. Not a bad idea. Probably the water's less disturbed further away from the bank. There was a rhino in there a minute ago, so I'm sure he's scuffled up loads of mud there. So zebras are quite water dependent. They're grazers. They can, like lots of animals, get quite a lot of moisture from what they're feeding on. But as the grass starts to dry out, I actually had a zebra drinking out of my bird bath the day before yesterday, which made me very happy to see zebras drinking in my bird bath. Oh, look at that image. Someone screenshot that. That's fabulous. If someone wanted to say, what does Africa look like? It would look like that. Thelma, you're asking, how do zebras protect themselves from predators? A few ways, Thelma. They will kick hard. I don't know if there's any horse riders out there. If anyone has ever been kicked by a horse, they will know how uncomfortable it is. I am a horse rider. I have been kicked by a horse and it's solid. They will kick, they will strike out with their front legs sometimes, they run fast, they are very alert, they've got very good senses. So look, this zebra's listening all the time. One of those is moving forwards, backwards, listening for any dubious sounds. So they have excellent senses, sense of smell, excellent eyesight. These, careful, it's getting a bit sticky in there. These stripes also can play a part in protection from predation, Thelma. We saw earlier, it might have been the same group, I'm not sure. There was lots of zebras all bunched up together, and it was actually quite difficult to see who was who and what was what and where was where. So they do say this coloration can also confuse predators sometimes. So lots of ways, Thelma. As we know, it doesn't always work.
We are thrilled to announce our new exclusive feature for YouTube members and explorers. Join us live every Tuesday for our sunrise and sunset safaris. Experience Tawny Tuesday like never before with up-close encounters and breathtaking moments. Don't miss out. Become a YouTube member or explorer today and immerse yourself in the heart of the bush. See you Tuesday.
Sideways and crossways. And now I'm thinking, do mountain zebra do the same? Do other species of zebra do the same in different areas? Ah! We've got our rhino back again. Mindy, I'm going to put that down as homework. Thanks for that. Zebra stripes. Angle of zebra stripes, I'm going to put that down. Welcome back. Ah, look at the little guy. Charlie Glasbrick. I've just been sent a picture of that zebra on that rock. That was brilliant. I enjoyed that a lot. Charlie Glasbrick. Do I prefer zebras or elephants? Zebras. There we go, that was easy. What bird is that? That's really annoying me. And see how this female, she's a little bit more on edge than the other rhinos we've seen here, because she's got a little one with her. Oh dear. Oops. Penelope Kenyon Founders gets the prize for the best waterhole sighting so far. I agree. Founders has been pumping today. Thelma, you're asking why are rhinos poached? Bit of a sad discussion to have while we're watching these two beautiful rhinos, but very poignant. Catherine, you're no good to me. I know that call that keeps calling. I was hoping you were going to help me, but I will remember it for the end of the show. But Thelma, why are rhinos poached? Because there's a misnomer that their horns are useful. Their horns are made of keratin, which is the same as our toenails or hair, and some people believe that there is a medicinal property to them. More recent years, being the owner of rhino horn has become a status symbol. So even if there was no belief that it was any good for you medicinally, if you had a rhino horn, then it meant you were rich. They are the main reasons, Thelma. It's very sad. I've just had an update that this female rhino is called Mandy. This has come from one of the camera zoomies, Bundu. Thank you, Bundu, if you are currently present. Gosh, I'm going to have to start keeping... When I worked in Medjugorje, I spent a lot of time trying to remember rhino notchings, and I used to end up drawing them on my legs, because you can identify rhinos by their notched ears. Deb Davies, yes, I think that's a little three-banded plover at the water's edge. I agree. I also noticed him. I would spend a lot of time. Is it plover or a wagtail? Oh look, there's two of them now. Might have been a mountain wagtail. We're not doing edible birds today, everyone. I've had enough trauma from the common fiscal shrike scenario. Thank you, Bundu. This big female rhino is called Mandy. And there's another something moving around that I think she's having a look at. That's so cute. But yes, I spent a lot of time drawing rhino ears on my thigh with pen when I was in sightings, and then quickly drawing the notches on their ears because that was the quickest way I found of recording rhino notchings, because it was very difficult to. We had an app, and we were going to an app, and then you would select male, female, and then you would go to ears, and then you would count the notches and go like triangle, square, and the rhino had gone normally by that time. So I used to regularly get back from game driving with Dickway covered in biro drawings of rhino, very badly drawn biro drawings of rhino ears, may I add. But I will have to start trying to remember these rhinos' ear notchings. But this is a female and her little one, who's having a blast in the mud there. Oh, I nearly remembered that bird call then. Mindy, yes, I've noticed a couple of times today that their noses, those nostrils, are right deep in the water when they drink. We had a long discussion the other day about who laps and who sucks water, and we concluded that it was just down to how mouths had developed, to be honest. David Atwood, I have not seen the honey badgers visit the waterhole, unfortunately. I'm normally here for a couple of hours during the day, and while it's not impossible, honey badgers will visit during the day. It's more likely to happen at dusk or even during the night time. Ah, see that? That little. Oh, I didn't see what that bird was. Founders Lodge is definitely, absolutely jam full of all the animals today. I'm going to quickly have a little scroll through my bird up and try and remember what that bird call was, because it's annoying me. I haven't spent a lot of time in the Eastern Cape. Very little time, in fact. But I did know that bird. I'll do that later. I will know that bird when I see it. The warthogs are coming back as well. That's a really cool image. Look, that baby rhino's next to those. That's awesome as well. I've heard some guys say, oh, look at the baby rhino, when warthogs have run across the road, which I don't do. I don't tell many funnies when I'm on game drive with guests, because I have found that people have an awful lot of faith in you when you do take people on drive. Oops, sorry, I the mic. And I try not to abuse that trust. I've heard stories of people telling guests all sorts of things on game drive and they're going, oh, just joking. I don't do that, because I've been on the receiving end of having an awful amount of trust in someone and them making a joke, and I was quite annoyed, to be honest, because I believed exactly what they said and they were having a giggle, and I found it broke a bit of trust, so I don't do that. I think that's a mountain wagtail, or a Cape wagtail. Cape wagtail, yes, Cape wagtail, there we go. See, I can ID a bird when it's like that. That's when it's all pixelated. I thought it might have been a wagtail. Cape wagtail. There we go. I wonder if that's what was calling. I think it was. I think that's the bird that was calling. These rhinos have had a lovely wallow in the mud there. But yes, as I was saying, I don't tend to make too many funnies when I have guests, or when I'm here for that matter, because I currently view all of you as my guests this afternoon. Biggest vehicle I've ever had. I can hear a pearl-spotted owlet. I've heard a pearl-spotted owlet at a funny time of the day at Tau as well. It's not impossible. Those pearl-spotted owlets often technically are supposed to be more vocal at dawn and dusk. But there's no rules against them not calling in the day. This is why we don't like to set too many hard and fast rules. Nina Brown, you're asking, at what age do rhino bulls start looking for territory, and do they ever have territorial fights? 12, 14, 15, somewhere around there is when they might start challenging other bulls. It's not so much about if there was no other rhino bulls in an area, then they may start looking to claim territories earlier. But again, it all depends on the scenario. But as a rule, they will start potentially trying to claim territories. 12, 14, 15, somewhere around there. And they will absolutely have territorial fights, although they'd rather not, Nina. They'd rather just give it a skip and everyone get on nicely. But if there is another bull in an area, or if indeed there is a female in estrus in an area, they will indeed fight, quite brutally, in fact. I watched two male white rhinos have a fight in a river once. It was brutal. There was blood. But it doesn't happen that often, especially if everyone's got their territories organised. They will leave each other a little, they're not little, they're massive, massive signs. Massive signs of who owns which area by leaving piles of poop, and they're not little, they're ginormous rhino middens. That was lovely though, that sighting with the zebra still here, but to see, what's going on here? And that little baby rhino with a warthog in the background, that was cool as well. Let's go across to Tenby. There was some curious elephant behaviour there earlier. We think possibly something to do with lions, so I'd love to follow up on that. See if we've had any exciting developments that side of Tenby.
Join Wild Earth Travel on a unique nature adventure in the Greater Kruger Park. Legendary master tracker Renius Mhlongo leads a 4-day animal tracking experience in the Sabi Sand Nature Reserve. This experience offers a life-changing chance to track Africa's iconic animals on foot with a master of his craft. Renius is joined by Wild Earth presenter and expert storyteller Amy Krantz, and together they will connect you to Africa's wild heart.
Become a Wild Earth YouTube member today and unlock extras and bonuses, like ad-free streams so you can stay immersed in your safari without any interruption. Have your burning questions answered first by me or other expert naturalists. Join now to avoid missing out on these amazing benefits. Help us connect people to nature.
My full name is Mpho Tikani. I grew up in Soweto. My first animal that I filmed said to dog. Okay, no, it's my first animal that I filmed, I think it was an impala. Best sighting ever, I would say it was actually this year, 2024. But it was at this Cedric when we had Muluwati and TP on a waterhole kill. I think we have to cut it.
Welcome to Safari Spotlight. We'll be
And you pretend like you're a salesman, eh?
Got no idea what's going on this reserve. Expecting the unexpected.
Are we stuck down there?
What am I trying to do?
So we have another giant of Mabula.
That was incredible.
This is unbelievable.
It's going to be a spectacular afternoon.
I had a couple of bits of homework that I wanted to update on from yesterday that I have not updated on. We've been through the monitor lizard. Hippos do get diseases. Two of the most common ones are anthrax, which is devastating, especially in drought, TB, and there have been cases, occasional cases of hippos with TB. I couldn't find any weird hippo-specific diseases during my brief research, but the question was, do hippos get diseases? The answer is yes. Fascinating bit of reading behind the hammercop, and I had a recollection that there was some history of hammercops being known as the lightning birds. It actually comes from a folklore, Zulu, other tribal folklore of a bird called the impudulu, which was a large black and white bird in folklore that had a believed ability to summon thunder and lightning with a flap of its wings. And it's believed that there may be some connection with hammercops because they're a bit of a funny shape, and they're also water-loving birds, and it may have stemmed from hammercops being present during storms, enjoying the rain, hunting for frogs. And it's also believed to be very bad luck to disturb a hammercop's nest. We were talking about hammercop nests yesterday and how massive they could be, and it's believed to be bad luck to disturb those nests, even sometimes by passing close to them. I didn't actually know that. I knew there are a few connotations around hammercops, but maybe none of us should ever go too close to a hammercop's nest because they've worked hard to build that nest, and that is a safe haven. So that's where my deep memories of links to lightning birds and hammercocks. That's loosely where it came from. And I still haven't found anything substantial enough to discuss around capping of elephants' teeth. So now I'm going to spend the rest of the day trying to work out why zebra stripes are at different angles. I didn't quite catch where they are, but there's some vervet monkeys somewhere, and I would love to go and watch some vervet monkeys for a bit because they are fascinating to watch. Right up there with baboons. I would love to see some vervet monkeys. Yes, this is where we often see the baboons as well. Then Tora in Kenya. No, don't go. I really enjoy watching monkeys and baboons. See, monkeys suck. As in, drink water from sucking. I don't mean they're a little bit rubbish. Monkeys are awesome. Look at the little one feeding there. I can't quite see. That is a lovely view as well. We've had some lovely images today. Oh, that little one is having a drink. Oh, ow. That looks uncomfortable. I don't know what you're squeaking for, little one. I've watched some monkeys do some... I've laughed at monkeys before. I've sworn heartily at monkeys as well. But I've had some real laughs watching monkeys before. I once watched one. Still. It was... I can't remember where it was. But you know those big... like the really big pepper grinders. It was at a lodge somewhere, and it stole a massive pepper grinder, and it ran off, but it ran away on its back legs because this pepper grinder was too big to sort of canter with in one hand, and it ran away on its back legs with a giant pepper grinder. I think once I stopped laughing, we tried to go and retrieve the pepper grinder because I don't think it took it up a tree. It was massive though. Not quite sure what its objective was. I also once watched a vervet monkey steal a light bulb. Not sure what the plan was there either. But that pepper grinder did make me giggle. Sounds like emerald spotted wood doves calling there. Greg, do the males in the troop take on any parental care? That's a really good question. We had a discussion about baboons and parental care not long ago, and it seemed that while male baboons had been seen to occasionally carry youngsters, it wasn't common, so I would assume the same for male vervet monkeys. I think it's primarily female, but I'm also gonna put more... Oh, I say. That looks a bit inexperienced or not too serious. I could be wrong. Greg, I'm not entirely sure. I've never watched male vervet monkeys taking particular care of youngsters, but that doesn't mean it doesn't happen. Add it to the homework list. Male vervet monkey care. I'm not sure what that mounting behaviour was there. Well, I know it was mounting behaviour, but whether or not that was a serious sexual advance, I'm not too sure. It looked a bit haphazard to me, to be too serious. 2 questions on tails. Learn more. What's special about monkeys' tails? And Mindy, you're saying their tails seem pretty long relative to their body size. I was reminded of something recently. I did know it, but I haven't used the information for quite some time. And learn more. I'm not sure if you're alluding to the fact that some primates have prehensile tails. Our baboons and monkeys cannot dangle from their tails. So technically that means they're not prehensile, so they can't use them like limbs, but they do use them for balance. And Mindy, yes, they do seem long relative to their body size. I suppose the longer they are, the more useful they are for balance. And they will probably also use their tails to not communicate per se, but I'm sure what's happening with their tail can indicate their mood to a certain extent.
My name is Amy, and today we're going to be doing things a little bit differently.
Become a Wild Earth YouTube member and unlock exclusive bonuses and benefits. Enjoy uninterrupted, ad-free streams so you can stay immersed in nature. Have your burning questions answered first by me or other expert naturalists. Enjoy exclusive access to special broadcasts and videos, and help us to connect people to nature.
Every month, something wild lands in your inbox. From rare sightings and behind-the-scenes secrets to expert stories, seasonal changes, and exclusive travel opportunities, the Wild Earth Journal is your free monthly mailer, packed with the magic of the wild straight from the field. It's fun, it's free, it's full of surprises. Sign up now on the Wild Earth website.
Rock there. And secondly, what it would look like to watch a monkey run away on 2 legs carrying a massive pepper grinder. it's been lovely having everyone join in this afternoon. There's been some new people joining us as well. You're all very, very welcome. Tell your friends we're going to be here at the same time tomorrow, tech allowing. Just never quite know. We don't ever quite know either. But it's lovely to have new people joining us. The more the merrier. And of course our regulars, thank you for your dedicated viewing. That zebra stripe thing is gonna take some of my time this evening. I remember I had a long discussion about what's the point of the blue thing on a guinea fowl's head a while ago. Well, a long time ago actually. It was actually one of my canine tutors asked me that question. And it's not only the males, so that didn't work. So yeah, that bony growth on the top of a helmeted guinea fowl's head, what was the point of it? And nature doesn't normally do things for no reason. Nature is very energy aware, and if something develops or happens, there's normally a point for it, but we as humans don't always understand it. And isn't that brilliant? See, this elephant is also a little bit, and this is a big boy. Let's see how, what are you next? Stalk? And those, that was the same sort of place. There's a big tree at the front, and then there's another big thick tree trunk over the other side of the water, and I think it's where that family group was standing when they bunched up together before they left. And just as that big bull got to that shaded area, he sort of stopped and lifted his head and held his ears out just briefly. I'm sure it's probably lingering scents in that area. You can hear grey go-away birds calling in the distance, but they're not always a good indicator of something. But it's good to take scenes holistically to try and work out what's going on. Oh, let's go to Founders. Apparently we've got something very cool there that's I'm gonna really enjoy. Let's go. Yeah, how cool is that? That's an amazing image as well. Look, there's a zebra in that sable's horns. See, I don't know sable very well. I've never really guided in an area where there's a good population of sable. Oh, they're amazing. Look how they're stunning antelope. Stay there, Mr. Sable. They are crazy. Wowzers. I spent time with Sable in the Kalahari, and I've had a couple of brief visuals of Sable in other areas I've guided him, but I haven't spent much time with these animals. But let's just appreciate for the last minute or so of the show how stunning this antelope is. That's artwork. That's proper nature's art. With an oxpecker riding him with complete disregard. Wow. Thank you so much for gracing us with your presence, Mr. Sable. That is a stunning way to finish the show. Thank you everyone for joining us. It's always a pleasure to have you all here. Your participation is appreciated and essential. So please, if you can, make time to return tomorrow. Oh, you gorgeous thing, you. Make time to return tomorrow if you can. Have your questions and comments ready. I will hopefully be here. And if we're really lucky, this Sable might be here too. But I'm not sure he will be. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And we hope to see you again tomorrow. Take care.